morning, everyone. Our topic for today is combined volume of prism. Here are the learning objectives for today's lesson. You're going to find the volume of a solid figure that is combination of two or more rectangular prism. And you're going to solve more problems related to volume of combined rectangular prism. How can you find the volume of a solid figure composed of two rectangular prisms? I have here the example. The shape and size of a storage building are shown in the figure, and the building supervisor wants to find the volume to determine how much storage space is available. What is the volume of the building? So you can find the volume of this figure by finding the volume of the two rectangular prisms that make up the figure. So the building can be separated into two rectangular prisms. So I'm going to separate it horizontally. So I have now the first prism, which is our prism A above, and I have prism B below. To find the volume of each prism, like for example, the volume of prism A, we use the formula always length multiplied by width multiplied by height. So as you can see here, our length is 4 meters. Because your pattern is this is your length, this is your width, and this is your height. So since there is no number here, that one is the same length here and the same here. That's why the length is 4. Where is your width? Your width is this, the same here, and the same here. So that is equivalent to 9 meters. And where is your height? Your height is this, which is equivalent to 5 meters. That's why 4 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 5, so 36 multiplied by 5, that is equivalent to 180. So we're done in volume of prism A. Now, volume of prism B. As you can see here, our length is 10, our width is 9, and our height is 7. So 10 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 7, that is equivalent to 630. And to find the volume of this, you need to add only, the total volume of prism A and the total volume of prism B, which is equivalent to 180 plus 630, that is 810, and the unit is meter, so the answer is 810 cubic meters or 810 meter to the third power. Okay, next. Let's use the same example, but now I'm going to cut it vertically. Before we cut it like this. This is our prism A and this is our prism B. Now I'm going to cut vertically and let's find out if we can get the same answer. Okay, so if I cut it here, so this is now my prism A and this is my prism B. Make it clear for you, I'm going to shade prism A so that you can identify which is prism A and which is prism B. So this is prism A, as you can see here. Okay, so the other one is prism B on the right side. Now let's find out the volume of prism A. So to find the volume, as I told you, we can use only the formula length times width times height. So to find the volume, this is the length from here until here only. So we are not going to use 10 because 10 is the combination of the length from here up to here. So since you separated already the figure, so it should be until here only. That is your length. So there is no digit here. This is also your length. And this is also your length. So the length is equivalent to 4 meters. Okay? And what is your width? Your width is on this part. So it means this is your width. And this is also your width, which is equivalent to 9. And where is your height? Your height is this, from here up to here. So from here up to here is the same, and that is equivalent to 12. So the volume now of prism A is 4 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 12, and that is equivalent to 432. Now, volume of the prism B. This is your prism B on the right side. So what are we going to do is to find the volume. From here up to here is the length. So we're not going to use 10 because as I told you, 10 is the measurement from here up to here. So what is this? What is this length? This one is the same on this. That is the length, the same on this. So that is equivalent to 6 meters. And where is your width? Your width is this part, and that is equivalent to 9 meters. And your height is this, which is equivalent to 7 meters. So when we compute that one, to find the length is length, to find the volume is length multiplied by width multiplied by height. So 6 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 7, that is equivalent to 378. And to find the total volume of these two prisms, we just simply add 432 added to 378, and that is equivalent to 810 cubic meter, which is the same answer when we cut the figure horizontally. Next, example. So here it's given already here, dotted line. It means it is divided already into two figures. Okay, so this is your first rectangular prism and the second rectangular prism, prism A and prism B. Okay, so how to find the answer? As I told you, you just simply follow the formula: length times width times height, length times width times height. Volume of prism A first. So prism A, I have here the length from here up to here. So we're not going to use 6 because 6 is the combination of the length of prism A and prism B. Since you cut it already here, so your length is from here up to here only. So that is the same with this and the same on this, which is equivalent to 4. So 4 now is your length. Where is your width? Your width is supposed to be here on this part when you separated it, but that is the same on this, okay, and the same on this. So that is equivalent to 3. And your height of course from here up to here, okay, and from here up to going down, okay. Then from here up to here it's the same, that is equivalent to 12. So the volume of the first prism or prism A is 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 12. Now, what is the volume of prism B? Prism B is on the right side. So as you can see here, this is the length, this is the width, and this is the height. So we're not going to use 6 as your length, as I told you, because that is the combination of the two prisms. So since you separated, we're going to use only from here up to here. So that is the same here and the same length here, and that is equivalent to 2. So your length is 2 and your width is 3 and your height is 5. So when we multiply that one, that is equivalent to 30. So how to find the volume of these two? The combined volume is equivalent to 174 feet cube or cubic feet. So we just simply add the two total volume of each prism. Now, what is another way to separate the shape from example number 1? So before we separated vertically, now I decided to separate horizontally. Okay, so we have the prism A above and the prism A below. So I'm going to highlight again the other prism so that you can identify the two separated prism. Okay, so that is prism A and the other one is prism B. Now, let's find out prism A. Prism A, this is your length because you separated horizontally. This is your width and this is your height. So your length is the same with this length and the same with this length, which is equivalent to 4. That's why your length is equivalent to 4. Okay, and your width is 3 feet. Why? Because this is your width, which is the same with this and the same on this part. That is equivalent to 3. And your height is, this is your height, which is equivalent to 7 feet. This is your height from here up to here only, okay? And that is not 12 feet. Why it's not 12 feet? Because 12 feet is the combination of the height of prism A and prism B. So since your height is only until there, so that is equivalent with the same height, which is 7. So 4 feet, 3 feet, and 7 feet. So we just simply multiply, and that is equivalent to 84. And prism B. Prism B is the below part of the prism. Okay, so I have here 6 feet. This is your length, this is your width, and this is your height. So your length is 6, your width is 3, and your height is 5. So what is the answer? 6 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5 is equivalent to 90. So when we combine the two volumes, 84 plus 90 is the same answer that we have when we separated the figure vertically. Okay, the same. Now let's proceed to example number 2. Example number 2, let's find the volume of this figure. So the first one, I'm going to cut the figure. So I'm going to cut like this. So it means this is my prism from here up to here. Okay. So that is my other prism. So prism A and prism B. So that is prism A above and prism B below. So how to find the volume? As I told you, using the formula, volume is equivalent to length multiplied by width multiplied by height. So your length in prism A is this one. From here up to here is the length. From here up to here is your width. So it's the same thing here. The same thing here. And your height is this. Now, what is the correct length? The correct length is, so since this is your length, which is the same here and the same here, that is equivalent to 5 inches. This is your width, the same thing here and the same thing here, and that is equivalent to 7 inches. And this is your height, so we're not going to use 8 inches because 8 inches is the height from here up to here, the combination of the two prisms. So from here up to here is the same thing here and the same thing here. And this measures 6 inches. So the volume of the first prism now is 5 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 6, and that is equivalent to 210. And what is the volume of prism B? Prism B is, the length is 15 inches, the width is 7 inches, and the height is this until here only. So the same thing, we're not going to use 8 inches because their volume is here up to here. That is the same thing here and the same thing here, which is equivalent to 2. So that's why the answer is equivalent to 15 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 2, and that is equivalent to 210. So when we combine that one, 210 plus 210, the answer is 420 cubic inches. Now, what is the other way to separate the shape from example number 2? So we're done separating the shape horizontally. Now I'm going to separate them vertically. Okay. So here I have this figure. Okay, so that is my first prism, and the second prism is on the right side. So prism A and prism B. Now let's discuss first how to find the volume of prism A. Prism A, this is your length from here up to here only. This is your width, and this is your height. So this is your length, that is the same on this and this, and that is equivalent to 5 inches. Okay, So what is your width? Your width, obviously this one, that is 7 inches, and your height is 8 inches. Now, why we're not going to use 15 inches? Because 15 inches is the combination of the two shapes. Okay, so we're not going to use that one because you separated already the figure. So 5 inches multiplied by 7 inches multiplied by 8 inches, the answer is 280. Now, what is the volume of prism B? Prism B is this part. This is your length from here up to here. So we're not going to use 15 because as I told you, 15 is the combination of the two prisms. So what is the measurement from here up to here? That is the same thing here. Okay, so that is equivalent to 10 inches. And where is your width? Your width is this, which is equivalent to 7 inches. And your height is this, which is equivalent to 2. So when we multiply the length, the width, and the height, that is 10 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 2. And that is equivalent to 140. And when we combine that one, we can get the same answer, which is equivalent to 420 cubic inches. Now, example number 3. In example number 3, I'm going to cut it first here. So my prism A is above and my prism B is below. So prism A, how to find the volume of prism A? So this is your length, this is your width, and this is your height. Okay, so your length is the same on this, which is equivalent to 5 centimeter, and the same on this. So that is the length. Now, what is your width? Your width is this, which is the same length on this, that is 8. So your width is 8 and your height is 5. So 5, 8, and 5, when we multiply that one, that is equivalent to 200. Prism B. Prism B, this is your length, this is your width, and this is your height. So your length is 7, your width is 8, and your height is 2. So when we multiply this one, the answer is equivalent to 112. And combine the two volumes to find the final answer, 210 plus 112, that is equivalent to 312 cubic centimeter. Now, what is another way to separate the shape from example number 3? So if I'm going to separate the shape in example number 3, I'm going to separate it here and here. So I have 3 shapes now. This is prism A, prism B, and prism C. So I'm going to highlight this one so that you can identify this figure. Okay, so that's it. Now let's find the volume. The volume of prism A. As you can see in prism A, I have here, from here up to here is my length. That is the same on this and the same on this part. So obviously that is not 7 centimeter because 7 centimeter is the combination of the length of these 3 prisms. Okay, so since I am only looking for the length from here up to here, and that is the same here, which is equivalent to 5, that's why my length is equivalent to 5. Now, what is my width? My width is this part. Okay, that is the same on this. And this width is almost the same on this. And that is equivalent to 8. That's why my width is 8 centimeter. And what is my height? My height is equivalent to this part. That is my height. So my height is 5 centimeter. And since I cut it here, so my height is until from the top to bottom. So I have 5 and I have 2. So 5 plus 2, that is 7. That's why my height is equivalent to 7 centimeter. So the length, the width, and the height 5 by 8 by 7 is equivalent to 280. Now, what is the volume of prism B? Prism B is this. So your length is from here up to here only. Your width is this until there, and this is your height. So your length is the same on this, which is equivalent to 1, and your width is 8 and your height is 2. So 1 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 2, that is equivalent to 16. And this prism B is almost the same on prism C. So prism C is equivalent to 16 also, the volume. So we just simply add all the volume of prism A, prism B, and prism C. Prism A is 280, prism B is 16, and prism C is 16, and we have 312 cubic centimeter. Now, I have another example here. So if I'm going to cut this one, so the figure is this. So if I'm going to separate the figure, that is my first prism above and my second prism below. So I have prism A and prism B. So for prism A, I have here prism A. So from here up to here, and from here up to here, from here up to here, that is the length, which is equivalent to 6. Okay, and your width is this part from here up to here, and that is equivalent to the same here, which is 4. So your length is 6, your width is 4. And what is your height? Your height is this from here up to here, and that is equivalent to 3. So your length, your width, and your height, 6 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3, that is equivalent to 72. For prism B, this is your prism B, this is your length, this is your width, and this is your height. So your length is 8, your width is 4, and your height is 7. So 8 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 7, it is equivalent to 224. So when you add that one, so 72 plus 224, the answer is 296 cubic centimeter. Now, what is the other way to separate the shape from example number 4? So before, we separated horizontally. Now, we're going to separate it vertically. So this is now your prism A, and the other side is prism B. Let's find out the volume of prism A. Prism A, your length is from here up to here only. From here up to here and here up to here, and that is equivalent to 6, not 8. Because when we use 8, that is the combination of the two shapes. Okay, so your length is 6, your width is this, the same on this. Okay, so that is equivalent to 4. And your height is this one, which is equivalent to 10. So what are we going to do now? 6 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 10, and the volume of prism A is 240. Next, let's proceed to prism B. Prism B is here, your length, your width, and your height. So your length is not 8 because you are measuring only from here up to here, and that is equivalent with the same length here, which is 2 centimeter. And your width is 4, and your height is 7. So 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 7, that is equivalent to 56. So when we combine these two volumes, the answer is 296, which is the same answer when we divide the shape horizontally. Example number 5. So here, if I'm going to cut this one horizontally, so this is my first shape. So first shape, and I have another shape below. So that is my prism A, and the other one is my prism B. As you can see here, if we're going to find the length is this. This is another length, and this is another length. And that is equivalent to 6. This is my width, this is my width, this is my width, which is equivalent to 2. And this is my height, this is my height also, and this is my height, and that is equivalent to 4. 6 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 4 is equivalent to 48. And what is the volume of prism B? Prism B is 6 multiplied by 10, and the height is until here only, so we're not going to use 9 because 9 is the combination from prism A to prism B. So from here up to here is the same here and the same here, which is 5. So this is the length 6, this is the width 10, and my height is 5. So 6 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 5 is equivalent to 300, and we're going to add this to 48 plus 300. The answer is 348 cubic feet. So here's the other way to separate the shape from example number 5. So before, we separated them horizontally. Now we're going to separate them vertically. Okay, so once we separated them vertically, that's the time that you're going to find the volume now of each prism. So this is prism A and this is prism B. The prism A, I have here the length, which is equivalent to 6. And your width is equivalent to, what's this? That is equivalent to 2 feet. And your height now is equivalent to 9. So, what is the answer? 6 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 9, that is 108. And for volume prism B, this is your length, this is your width, but your width is until there only, so we're not going to use 10. So what is the width from here up to here? From here up to here, and from here up to here, that is equivalent to 8. So your width is 8, not 10. And your height is this part, the same on this, and the same on this, which is equivalent to 5. So, your length is 6, your width is 8, and your height is 5. So, 6 multiplied by 8 and multiplied by 5 is equivalent to 240. And when we add that 1, the answer is 348. So, that's it. Thank you so much and have a nice day.